Hey, konnichiwa minasan, it's Gray from Wakizashi's Teahouse home in Japan. How you doing? You good? Are you Genki? I hope so. I have a review of the Amazing Spider-Man issue 36, legacy number 930. It came out today, Wednesday, October 25th, 2023, priced at the regular new inflated price of $4.99 now. Written by Zeb Wells, it has art by Ed McGuinness, who does the art on this and the following issue, as far as I know. So, the question is this issue any good? Is it worth picking up? Well, I'm going to read a little bit from my WordPress review, which I dropped earlier today. Here we go. Guess who's back? Wreck Rap. Who? I hear you cry. Now, he's meant to be the comedy version, a kind of bizarro comedy version of Spider-Man, who's popped up here and there over the last year. Where was it? You probably noticed, yeah, that Red Rum, Murder, The Shining. Sorry, Wreck Rap is Parker spelled backwards. Now, this is from the Marvel fandom website about the character. You ready for this? Hold on to your hats and try and tune in with your brain with this, because it gets complicated. Wreck Rap is a demon of limbo who came to idolize Spider-Man after being rescued by him. Calling himself Parker Man, the demon applied to join the Insidious Six, but was rejected by Chasm for his heroic aspirations. Just poor little Wreck Rap wanted to be a hero. Sorry, that was me. Dejected, the demon was approached by an alchemist demon who offered to help and bonded him to a symbiote, which merged with the demon's Spider-Man t-shirt to take on an appearance similar to Spider-Man's costume. First appearance, Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6, which is this current Zeb Wells volume, this run, issue 17. Remember that, 17. Not the easiest description to get your head around. Wreck Rap made his debut, as I said, in Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6, Issue 17, back in January this year. He was part of the Dark Web story arc that I mostly skipped because it felt like unnecessary filler. Well, get ready for a Wreck Rap, can't even bloody say it, Wreck Rap focused issue. So, yeah, there we go. So what's it like then? Well, overall, by itself, it's not a particularly bad issue. It just feels like this was shoehorned in to buy some time for the main story artists, I guess, to work on the upcoming Gang War story arc, which is starting soon. Any repercussions from the events of the last few issues, we saw Spider-Man being affected by, Norman Osborn's sins, any effects of that are just, left in the ether, I guess. We don't get any follow-up on that, which is a bit annoying. If I'm going to give this a score, I would rate this, I guess, a fairly generous Wakizashi 6 out of 10. And that's mostly for the art, which I do like. It's Ed McGuinness doing a cartoony, kind of goofy style. Do like it. My summary is this. Amazing Spider-Man 36 is kind of fun in a goofy, dark web way, but it feels like an unwelcome interruption to the main story. More like an afterthought to a story that concluded 18 issues ago. Despite the bright cartoony art by Ed McGuinness, I was left unsatisfied by the lack of follow-up to events in the last few issues of Spidey. Why drop this story now? That is the question. Okay, so as always, I'll give a story summary. I do actually talk about the whole story. I skip a few pages here and there, but I do talk about the end, so just be wary of that. If you want to avoid spoilers for the ending, don't watch till the very end of the summary. Okay. Please keep watching. Go on. You know you want to. Here we go. Let me give you the synopsis first. Recently, Spider-Man's clone, Ben Reilly, attempted to unleash Limbo on New York. After being stopped with the help of Limbo's Goblin Queen, Madeline Pryor, Limbo was granted an embassy in New York, allowing its demonic denizens to roam the city streets. This includes Spidey's biggest admirer and self-declared protege, Wreck Rap, and his nemesis, the Insidious Six. Did you notice the beginning of the synopsis? It said, recently. Recently? How about 18 issues ago? Because that was the last we saw of Dark Web. Anyway, let's get on with the story summary. We open in Queens and it's 2 nights ago. A shadowy figure is knocking on a door. The man opens the door and we see what appears to be Ben Grimm the Thing, or is it? The mysterious figure tells the man he needs to look in his attic. I don't think so. The figure is revealed to be Rekrap, who is telling the man that he was actually in disguise. You actually think you're in disguise? So why does he want to look in the man's attic? That's the question. But before we find out, we hear a voice from outside screaming, "Rekrap, I see you!" On the next page we get one of the best pages in the book. Yeah, the art's a bit cartoony, but it's Ed McGuinness, and I gotta say, I do like his goofy style. "You can't hide from the grave, goblin." We move forward to today and switch scenes to the Limbo Embassy in New York City. Remember the Limbo Embassy? I do, vaguely. We see Mayor Luke Cage and he's talking to Queen Goblin, or Goblin Queen, Madeline Pryor. The first we see of Spidey in this issue is he's with Luke Cage and talking to Madeline Pryor. Mayor Cage and Spidey want her to do something about the unwanted incursions by Rekrap and the Insidious Six, which are causing absolute chaos in the city. She tells them that she has her best agent on the case, tracking down and returning any wayward demons still left in the city after Dark Web. Spidey and Mayor Cage are not sure they can trust her on this. As they're about to leave the Limbo Embassy, Mayor Cage asks Spidey to hold up a second. He doesn't want to be seen leaving at the same time with an illegal superhero. Then we get a bit of an info dump, a bit of a reminder of what was going on in the past. Spider-Man saying, "Right, it's easy to forget how much Fisk's law has complicated things." Spidey asks Luke Cage if he doesn't have the power to change this law. But the mayor tells Spidey that Fisk knew exactly what he was doing, tangling up the law in over 30 pieces of infrastructure funding, whatever that means. Mayor Cage then tells Spidey that he's working with Randy Robertson. "I think you know his dad. He says he's been trying to get you involved." But Spidey says he will leave the politics to you guys. He's more of a swing around and punch people in the face guy. Next we get a 2-page interval featuring Hammerhead and Silvermane, who appears as a talking half-cyborg head, a bit like an older version of Peter Weller in RoboCop. Silvermane is talking about wanting a return to crime under Magia control. The Magia are basically Marvel's version of the American Mafia. Following this brief scene, we return to Spider-Man on the hunt for Rekrap. He's in Queens and he's checking out what looks like a destroyed or half-destroyed attic, the house of the man that we saw at the beginning of the issue. Can you tell me what happened here? The man fills Spidey in on what happened about the battle with that weird grave goblin, was it called? And he wonders what Rekrap was looking for. Why did he want to go into the attic? This is followed by a weird scene where we see Rekrap wall crawling its way up the building wall and licking it for some reason. Yummy. Turns out that's where Peter lives. It's Peter's apartment building. Rekrap seems surprised to discover that Peter's there. It tells Peter that a paper trail led it there. But before we learn anything more, they are both interrupted by Dr. Octoball. Yeah, I don't know either. The purple demon isn't after Spidey. It only has eyes for Rekrap. As Rekrap and Spider-Man fight Doc Octoball, a strange pale-faced figure appears before them. It's the Limbo agent sent by Goblin Queen Madeline Pryor and has come for Dr. Octoball. But after devouring the purple demon, it turns its attention on Rekrap. Spider-Man tells the agent that he will return Rekrap to Limbo, but it ignores Peter and tries to swallow Rekrap too. The three of them fight and the agent is knocked off the building and into the street below. Peter hears this strange being saying that it knows him, and that's where the issue ends. To be continued in ASM 37. And there we have it. Well, what do you think of that? Hey, maybe you enjoyed it. You enjoyed its goofiness. It was kind of silly. It was fun. It was a bit daft. It just feels like, why are they doing this now? But anyway, here is a preview for the next issue's cover, issue 37. As you can see, Rekrap. Wow, I got it right for once. Rekrap is back in that issue too. We'll be carrying on this story before we get to the Gang War big story arc, which has been bigged up for ages now by Nick Lowe and the Marvel. So, as always, I want to say thank you very much for watching my review. Really appreciate it. Do drop a comment. That'd be great. I'd love to hear from you, and I do answer my comments. Shout out to the Wakizashi Teahouse Dojo members. You guys and girls out there, you keep this channel going, you keep the lights on, and you are just a massive, massive boost for support for me, so I really appreciate it. And I do hope to see you in a future video. This is Gray, signing off for the night, saying, Matane.